Markets Now is brought to you by the 5-year anniversary of Brevant Seeds. Here's to 5 years of not just winning, but collecting one game-changing W after another. See all of our wins at brevant.com/wins.
And welcome to Markets Now. I'm Michelle Rook with Kevin Duling of KB Investors. Well, we're seeing some mixed trade in both grain and livestock futures this morning. The corn and wheat market is trying to bounce here, Kevin, after we saw some new contract lows in September corn and a lot of the wheat complex yesterday. So let's talk about corn. Just a little short covering bounce, you think, here, or what?
Oh, to start with, I think so. I mean, producers aren't active sellers down here. Nobody wants to sell down here. So you've got, basically no hedge pressure. You've got great demand. So I've always said if we're getting big demand, the market doesn't need to drop. It doesn't mean it won't. It just means, we found a value area. So let's let the buyers continue to buy and maybe that's enough to get these futures turned around at some point. But so that would be my thought on corn.
Yeah.
Moment.
So the December contract has not hit a contract low, but we've gotten very close because this market is trying to price in this big yield. What do you think we're trading here right now for yield?
That's a really good question. Someone said that, how many farmers can guess within 3 to 5 bushels of what their field's going to do, and not very many. And that's where I sit. It's like, I don't have any idea. I don't know how large these pollination issues are. On the bear side, you've got the fringe acres that are looking fantastic. You get into eastern Kansas, eastern North Dakota. I mean, some of those areas are just looking great. So they're going to pull the average. Instead of bringing it down, they're going to be right in there with it. So I got a 10 bushel span right now. I'm not very much help as far as what the yield's going to be. We're going to have to wait till we get the combines in it. But honestly, I just feel that we've kind of gotten into this pattern where we like to, similar to last year, where we're going to get all the bearish stuff out of the way now. We're going to make the fall lows, and it's not going to be a good time to sell. You're not going to have time to sell ahead if you haven't yet. So, to me, it's waiting through this next 2 to 3 months to see what's actually out there before we get any more opportunities.
Well, and weather has not been really very threatening, and so the funds have just had no reason to buy here. So they just keep pushing the short side of the market, don't they, in corn?
Yes, in corn and wheat especially, that just the momentum trade, the funds just hammer it and they go and go and go, and it's kind of like a football game, except there's no defense, and so the linemen just keep pushing it, and nobody can stop the momentum run game. So until we get some news or something that shifts the narrative, we're stuck. So it's pretty aggravating time. So
since you brought up wheat, let's talk about that, because we had new contract lows, as I mentioned yesterday, and much of the complex. And, we usually bottom, at least the hard red winter wheat market by this time, and we haven't. The bounce today, is it just short covering again, or are we finally seeing this hedge pressure start to abate?
Well, I think you're seeing the hard red winter hedge pressure go away. I think that they're through harvest. I mean, mostly, and a lot of growers sold right off the combine. They had some good yields, so they just liquidated. Didn't want to mess with it. So I think that, and you've had massive demand for hard red winter, for export demand. So that's been great. We're seeing the cash basis improve in some areas, at least the Northwest, it's improving. So that looks good for hard red winter. Overall, it's hard to say what's good. This market's changed. I mean, we don't make those mid-harvest lows like we used to, or pre-harvest lows. We don't do that anymore. Now we just kind of grind lower and follow corn. And if the algorithms are selling, then they keep selling until fall. And they're bigger than the market, at least the human side of the market. So there's really nothing we can do against that for now. So
yeah, for sure. And then you've had the dollar moving higher the last couple of days. So that's been a headwind for the wheat market and for a lot of the grain sector, hasn't it?
Yes, that Europe-U.S. trade deal really spooked the dollar higher, and it's continuing. And if you look at the chart, that's got a long way to go. I wouldn't be surprised to see the index get back up to 102, 103. I mean, granted, it's a euro heavy, so it doesn't impact us much, but it's just another negative thing to cause the funds to sell more. So
Yeah, for sure. So we said we're past 80% on winter wheat harvest. You guys are harvesting out in the PNW. What are things looking like out there? What are yields running?
yields are a little bit better than expected for some. We're starting to get into the higher country, and they're disappointed, which is what we expected. And as you go east into Idaho, they're going to be disappointed. So it's a little bit below average overall, but maybe slightly better than what we feared. So export demand's booming for that too. So we're excited about that. But quality is going to be off a little bit. So certainly not a spring wheat. When they get into the spring wheat side of it, it's going to be pretty much a disaster. So it's going to be quite a ways under USDA's estimate, I'm afraid. So
yeah, in spring wheat, 49% good to excellent rating is all versus 74% last year at this time. But the market doesn't seem to be recognizing that. Why?
in my opinion, it's the momentum trade. The momentum and fund trade is dominated that small market. It's such a small market that when you start getting 40, 50, 60% of the open interest in a market that is just the short funds, that's not a healthy market, not one that can function very well. So something's got to change that up. And good news is the export demand's there. Canadian crop's going to be way under USDA. So that market has a future, but we've got to ride out this summer and fall first, though.
Yeah. So yesterday, another lower day in the soybean market. I felt like we were disappointed that we didn't get any better news out of the China-US talks. Do you feel like the market is disappointed about that, the soybean market?
I do. And let's see, this is almost August here. So we need to get the Chinese fall buying program started here pretty quick, or we're going to start falling behind, and we haven't seen them yet. So that's another disappointment. We need to get them rolling here to start, proving to the market that, they haven't gone away. So the trade deals are probably going to take a long time. It's probably similar to Trump's first term. It's going to take, year and a half to get stuff done. And that's tough. That's really tough.
Yeah. So if we don't see any demand coming at the market, these trade deals kind of become white noise almost for the grain market, right?
I agree. Yep. White noise. It is just a background. And like I say, unless you get, and we've seen some actual bushels move. I mean, we made the deal with Indonesia, and then boom, Indonesia came in 2 weeks ago and bought, I don't remember the exact total. I think it was, they bought, 20 million, 25 million bushels of soft white wheat right there. So, that was big swing demand for us right off the bat. So, that's the kind of thing that's and the market dropped, the market went up about 20, 25 cents from that. So, it's there when we get the actual bushels. It's just a lot of the trade deals lately, they haven't had any bushels tied to them. So,
yeah, for sure. And it's going to take, like you said, a while to get things resolved or an actual trade deal. These are just frameworks. India, some news this morning. We're going to put a 25% tariff on them. And actually, they're talking about maybe some other sorts of tariffs because they're buying Russian oil. What kind of market impact at all would this have?
Not much. I mean, I didn't expect a whole lot out of India in the first place. I mean, we want to be good friends with them because they're going to have a massive corn import program at some point, very near future. They started a little bit last year. See what happens this year. But they I didn't think they'd ever buy any wheat from us. I mean, they don't need to yet unless they have a big problem. They like to support their farmers and just let the prices stay high, so it encourages production, and it's been working for them. But their corn ledger, that's a big one. And their poultry sector continues to grow about 9% per year. And the amount of feed for that is huge. And, their population continues to grow. So, but short term, the trade deal, I don't think people were focused on that. And I certainly wasn't focused on the grain side of it yet. I just hope we can get something notched at some point to open that door when the time comes. So.
Absolutely. I'm going to lastly talk to you about the cattle market. More contract highs day after day and these record levels. The funds have been pushing it, but the fundamentals have been good. Is there anything in your mind that can stop the momentum here?
when the music stops, it's going to stop. And then we're going to back off 30 cents in a blink. We did that last year, but it had a different looking chart. Didn't quite have the support of the numbers, and then the cash market wasn't above the futures. So I don't know. I mean, it's a fantastic market. I mean, you just every 30, 40 cents, you throw on another little set of puts, just, keep laddering them up, and you protect yourself that way. So when the purge does hit, you're covered. But man, in the meantime, it's a fantastic market. So.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks for joining us. Kevin Duling with KB Investors. That is Markets Now.
When you choose Brevant Seeds, you don't just win. You win so big, the very ground beneath your feet cries tears of joy. You win so big that second place feels like a participation trophy. You win so big, you might as well be harvesting buried treasure. Oh, sorry, just one more. When you choose Brevant Seeds, you don't just win. You hit the damn jackpot. Don't just win. Talk with your retailer or visit Brevant.com/jackpot to get started.